Internet audio.
There he is.
Okay, Stephen, we see you.
I look blurry.
No, you look fine. If you have the opportunity to set the phone down so that it can just be a steady picture as opposed to being in your hand, that would be helpful.
One moment.
Thank you.
I can't see his face.
I guess so.
Yeah, we can hear you. So this is Chris de Blasio here, Stephen, but Corey is our director. Let's let him just get a mic check on you.
Yes, if you could just count to 5 for me real quick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect. And is it possible for you to put your phone horizontally rather than vertically?
One moment.
Awesome. Thank you. Perfect. Thanks, man.
Yeah, that'll do fine. We've got a nice group of press already in the conference. If I eliminate probably an estimated 10, maybe it says 8 staff members, there's probably 35 press members on. So wow. real good start to our first virtual conference this year. So thanks everybody for being on. Brian Custer, as you know, is your host. He's going to run us through. Leonard and Tom Brown, thank you. Brian, if you're ready, Corey, you can cue us when you're ready.
Great. Brian, take it away.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year. Want to welcome you to the official press conference for Leo versus Fulton. I'm Brian Custer, the host of Showtime Championship Boxing, and I'm really here to let you know that Showtime Championship Boxing is back, and our first telecast of the new year will come your way next Saturday, January 23rd, and it features one of the most anticipated junior featherweight bouts. You've got the champion, the WBO junior featherweight champion, Angelo Leo, who is unbeaten, taking on the unbeaten challenger, Stephen Fulton Jr., or as he goes by, Cool Boy Steph. It is presented by Premier Boxing Champions, and you, of course, can see that telecast in this event live on Showtime Championship Boxing, January 23rd. It will be live from the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. It comes your way at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is 6 o'clock Pacific time. The fight will be promoted by Mayweather Promotions and TGB Promotions, and it will be the main event, the culmination of really a 3-fight card, 3 meaningful fights from top to bottom on this fight card. In fact, the co-main features 2 really sensational, unbeaten fighters, as the unbeaten 122-pound contender Rais the Beast Alim takes on the unbeaten Vic Pasillas, who is a hard-punching lefty. And these 2 will be fighting for the interim WBA title. Really, this is a meaningful fight because the winner of that fight automatically will fight for the world title in their next fight. So a really meaningful co-main. And then we begin the night with the rising Rolly Romero, who will be putting his interim WBA title on the line against Justin Paldo. It is a 12-round bout. And again, another meaningful fight as those guys look to climb up the ranks and become the regular world champion. 3 fights, but the big one, of course, the main event, the champ, Angelo Leo, taking on Cool Boy Steph, Stephen Fulton Jr. A fight that was originally supposed to take place in August. Now it is taking place, one of the first fights of 2021. Let me introduce some of the promoters, obviously, for this fight. Let's start with the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. Here is Leonard Ellerby.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for everyone for joining the call. In this main event, Leo versus Fulton, it is a hot fight. It is a highly anticipated fight that we've been waiting for and the fans have been waiting for ever since it was announced. And this is a fight, like Brian just mentioned, is a very, very meaningful fight for the division. The 122-pound division is probably the hottest division right now in boxing, right along with the lightweight division, because you have a number of fighters with great matchups that you can mix and match. But this fight right here with Leo and Fulton, everyone is anticipating this fight and everyone will be tuned in for this fight. You have Angelo Leo coming off of his tremendous victory against Tremaine Williams to win the WBO title. And that in that particular fight, that was his coming out party. Although he's fought on Showbox, a few other fights, but this was his coming out party. He was really, really impressive, and he made a big statement. And when it comes to Stephen Fulton, he definitely doesn't lack confidence. And that's the one thing that I do love about him. He's young, undefeated, he's talented, and he feels very, very confident. He's let the world know that this will be his easiest payday to date. He feels as though that he's going to walk right through Angelo Leo. That's what makes for great fights. You have two young, undefeated fighters coming together, fighting in their prime. And that's really, really what it's all about. And it's a fight where Angelo Leo, with he being the world champion, Stephen Fulton is a slight favorite. You know, so again, this is a very, very good matchup. And we have a great co-main event. And then we're going to open the broadcast with Mayweather Promotions' own with Rolando Romero taking on Justin Paldo. And that's going to be a very, very exciting fight. Rolly is coming off a less than impressive fight in his last bout. So he'll be looking to make a big statement out there for the fans. And again, from top to bottom, this is a terrific card. And we're excited that all the fans will be tuning in. Can't wait.
All right. Thank you, Leonard. That's great. And, you know, one thing you do know about Mayweather Promotions, they match their fighters tough. If you're under that Mayweather Promotions banner, you earn it. They certainly put you in high quality matchups. That's exactly what we've got on January 23rd. Let me bring in now the president of TGB Promotions. He can talk to you about the rest of the undercard. And listen, this man's a Hall of Famer, and he's sitting there a Hall of Famer for matchmaking because he was one of the best in the business of putting high quality matches together. Here's Tom Brown.
Well, thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. You know, once again, Showtime is delivering on its promise to provide the fans with the most exciting and meaningful fights. And quickly on the main event, you know, as you mentioned, Brian, one of the things that Mayweather Promotions prides itself on and should be applauded for is the development of their young fighters. They put them in tough, and they put them in tough early on. Now you look at a kid like Stephen Fulton's record, you won't find many young fighters that have been as tough and as against some impressive competition as Fulton has. You know, 8 of his victories out of his 18 wins are over undefeated fighters. So, you know, it's very impressive, and he's coming to grab what he believes is his and should have been his back in August. So we have a great main event. And then the co-feature is the fight that I'm really excited about with Rais Salim and Victor Pasillas. This is a very important matchup of legitimate contenders in a 50-50 fight between two undefeated prospects in the hot 122-pound division. Both fighters have made it clear that they want the lead of the division, and they're willing to put it all on the line January 23rd to make that happen. So the winner of this fight really will be in the driver's seat for any of the 122-pound champions. Aleem, he's known as the Beast, 17-0, 11 KOs. He's big, strong, aggressive, and undefeated. He's got great footwork, great defense, and he's an all-action fighter. He's coming off a very impressive TKO victory in his last fight. It was a rematch with Marcus Bates, and Aleem just bullied him later in the fight to get that TKO victory. And Victor Pasillas, another undefeated, 16-0 with 9 KOs. He was a decorated amateur standout. He had close to 300 amateur fights. He fights out of a southpaw stance, and his style reminds me of a bit of a young Hector Camacho. He's coming off a very impressive win back in September over an undefeated prospect. He moved up to featherweight to help us out, And it was a real show-stealing, statement-making performance. So I got a feeling, once again, he and Aleem could be another show-stealing type performance with this fight. And Leonard mentioned a little bit about Raleigh. I've always been a big fan of Raleigh and all of his fights. He's got a real tough one in Justin Paldo in front of him. You know, they always say styles make fights. Well, Paldo's got a style to really give Raleigh some fits and can pull off the victory here. He's got a tremendous jab. He's in great shape. He's down in Houston training with Ronnie Shields, and he's coming to win. So I think out of the 6 feature fights, we have maybe, what is it, 1 loss, only 1 loss between all of them. So we're going to see some O's go here on the 23rd. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. And, you know, this is the beauty of this card, because from top to bottom, you're getting quality. And let's talk about, of course, the main event, world title fight, first title defense for Angelo Leo. And let's talk about his challenger first. The young man out of West Philadelphia, Stephen Fulton Jr., 18-0. 8 of those wins have come by knockout. He's 26 years young, was originally supposed to face Leo, and this was back in August when this fight was going to happen. And then obviously, Cool Boy Steph came down with COVID-19, and this fight now taking place here in January. He is rated #1 by the WBO, unbeaten. And as you heard Tom talk about, he has a knack of knocking off unbeaten fighters. In fact, he feasts on that and loves that he has been matched tough. You know, listen, his last outing, you saw him on Showtime, and he just dominated Arnold Haggai on his way to that unanimous decision. That was in January of last year on Showtime. So here he is, Cool Boy Steph, Stephen Fulton. Stephen, talk to us about how camp is going and your thoughts on this fight.
How y'all doing? First of all, I'd like to thank Al Heyman, Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerby, the whole Showtime crew, Steven Espinoza, Chris, Tom Brown. I'd like to thank all of y'all first and foremost, because y'all all checked up on me during one of the moments in my life where I felt down after losing out on the opportunity in August. So I definitely would like to thank all of you first and foremost. January 23rd is going to be fireworks. He's a champion. He has that spark, that fire in him. He's coming to fight. I'm coming to fight. I'm coming hungry. We both coming hungry. So it's going to be a great matchup. I feel as though the fight is actually a little bit underrated because we're smaller guys, but me and him are the 2 top guys in the division. We're like the top 5 in the top 5 of including the world champ, the current world champs. So we're definitely going to make noise, and we both come to fight. We both have a chip on our shoulder. I feel like we both have something to prove. This fight is one of the biggest fights in the division. So I'm just ready to get it on. And once again, thank all of y'all for checking up on me during that down moment in my life, and appreciate y'all.
All right. Listen, it's great that you're healthy, ready to roll. Obviously, a big opportunity in your life is coming your way next Saturday. I know it's going to be a phenomenal. And let me just say this, that if anybody is sleeping on how big this fight is, it's the reason why you're the main event coming next weekend. So no, this is a big one from top to bottom. Let me introduce the champion now. Angelo Leo, 20-0. 9 of his victories have come by knockout. Of course, he is 26 years young, just like Stephen from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He defeated Tremaine Williams. You saw that. In fact, he was the first fight from when we started the bubble there at Mohegan Sun Arena. It was Angelo Leo who set the tone for us when he won his WBO title on Showtime. He won it by unanimous decision, became the first champion from his hometown, obviously, of Albuquerque, New Mexico, since Johnny Tapia. He fights out of that Mayweather stable. Here is the champ, Angelo Leo. Champ, you have the floor.
How's it going, guys? Thank you guys for having me. I want to thank Mayweather Promotions, TGB, Premier Boxing, and all the Showtime crew for putting this fight together. It's going to be a great fight. I know Fulton's coming to fight. I'm coming to fight. It's gonna be a great fight. Two contrasting styles, sort of like the East Coast West Coast thing. So it's gonna be fireworks. Just it's gonna be one of the best fights I think this year. Hey, let's just see. January 23rd, it's gonna be a great fight.
All right, champ. Appreciate it. By the way, I'm going to ask you guys just a few questions for members of the media. Since you guys are watching, I know you want to ask these guys some questions. All you got to do is hit the raise your hand bar, and Chris de Blasio will acknowledge you. I'm going to ask these guys a couple of questions before we get to some of the media questions for you guys. And champ, let me start with you, because as you heard Leonard allude to it, on paper, a number of people say this is a 50-50 fight. But according to Vegas, where you reside now, Fulton is the slight favorite. Are you surprised or are you offended by that?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I know Fulton has a lot of supporters, but I've been an underdog before. I've been in these shoes before, so it's no surprise to me, and it just gives me more fuel to the fire.
Are you offended at all by that?
No, not at all. This is boxing, and Fulton is a good fighter, but I'm looking to prove something January 23rd, that I belong where I belong, and I'm world champion for a reason.
Cool boy, Steph. Listen, when you step in the ring next Saturday, it will be basically a year since you last fought. Listen, some of these fighters have found the layoff, that COVID-19 has had a bigger effect on their performance than they anticipated. Do you believe it will have an effect on your performance?
Not at all. I don't think it will affect anything, honestly. I think it made me more ready to, be in there, take some punches and give some punches. As a fighter, I think all fighters are crazy. Don't get me wrong. I think we all a little messed up in the head. but yeah, as a fighter, it's like, that's just what we like. And I'm ready to endure that come January 23rd.
Now, you've gotten an opportunity to see Leo fight in a world title fight and see how he fights when something big is on the line. Has your game plan for him changed now compared to what it was back in August when you were going to originally fight him?
My game plan remains the same because I always thought smarter. If we need to make adjustments, then I'll make those adjustments. I do believe that I'm way better than I was going to be fighting the first go around.
In what way?
Mentally, physically, emotionally, just all around the board, just from losing all of those opportunities. And then now we're back here. Like I said before, it was like one of my lowest moments, losing that opportunity, and I actually cried about it. I felt like that was going to be it, and I wasn't going to get the opportunity again until later on down the line. And luckily, the great team that's all joining us today, put together this January 23rd. So just going through that just changed my mindset, the thought process that I've been having, the way I've trained and the way I've been fighting. And it just made me feel like I lose everything. Everyone knows how they feel when they feel like they lost something or lost everything that they had and that opportunity. And they know how that rage and that anxiety and everything that it gives you. So I'm just ready to fight at that point, at that moment.
Angelo, listen, your pressure and your body work is vicious. Do you believe that will be the difference in this fight and the reason why Stephen Fulton will suffer his first defeat?
That could be, I know I'm known for throwing a lot of body punches and pressure. It's no secret. But I feel like people haven't seen, all of me yet. I got a lot to prove. I still got a lot of looks to show. And come January 23rd, I think Stephen Fulton will bring that all out of me.
And how important do you think the body work is in a fight like this, where you have Fulton, who is, obviously a boxer, he can punch, but known for his boxing style and movement?
Well, it's important, I think it's important in every fight to go to the body. Like they say, you know, go to the body and the head will fall. But if he wants to move, if he wants to put pressure, you know, I got a remedy for all that.
Stevie, you know, last year, two of your Philly natives lost their opportunity to be world titleists. Obviously, Julian J. Rock Williams lost his titles last year. Danny Garcia got shut out by Errol Spence Jr. To become a unified champ. You know, with a victory, you would be the only world titleist right now from Philadelphia. So what would that mean to you? What do you think it means to the city?
To me, it means everything, because this is what I've been preparing for about 15, 16 years of my career, long-weighted career. To the city, it'll mean so much more, because it'll just show everyone from my neighborhood specifically that there is hope, there is a way out. You know, my neighborhood in my area, a lot of people like to call it the bottom. And, you know, when you make it from the bottom and make it feel like you're at the top, I mean, it's self-explanatory, but for me, there is no top. You know, we won't stop, can't be stopped.
Do you feel pressure at all, considering, you know, it's like you would be the only guy from Philly right now, and it seems like when these Philly natives got the opportunity, they come up short. Do you feel pressure?
No pressure at all. I don't feel pressure because, you know, like I said before, us boxers, us fighters, this game and this sport teaches us the discipline, teaches us for like moments like this, teaches us to know how to endure and deal with pressure. So no, I don't feel pressure at all. You know, I feel like I'm used to this. I feel like it's normal. This is a part of my everyday life, and it's a part of my job.
Angelo, I'm curious, what has Albuquerque been like now that you're a champion? That's number one. And then number two, what advice has your promoter, Floyd Mayweather, told you about your first title defense?
Well, I've only been to Albuquerque one time since I won the world title. And, you know, with all this COVID, I wasn't really able to go out and all that. But, you know, I know on Facebook and Instagram, you know, they're really ecstatic that I won the world title, and I got a lot more followers and stuff like that. And a lot more people are congratulating me. But, you know, eventually, you know, when everything opens up and I start going out more, I know that, you know, they'll recognize me a lot more. And the second question, Floyd has just been telling me, you know, he's just been solidifying the game plan, you know, telling me what I need to do to win this fight. I seen him actually on Monday, but I didn't see him too long because it was kind of brief because he was on the phone. Showtime was there, but he just stopped in to say hi and all that.
Stephen, last time we were all together, obviously you were by Zoom. Angelo had just won the world title. And you said, quote, Angelo, be ready. What do you have to say to him now? And will that streak of knocking off undefeated fighters continue on January 23rd?
Yes, it'll always continue because I come from poverty. It's what I'm made of. I know everyone has their way of making it out and making it. And I guess that being undefeated fighters is one of my ways. You know, everyone has their thing. Tank thing is knocking people out. Mine's is taking everyone's O's. Chris B-Hop is looking flashy while he fight. We all have our things, and that's one of my things. Come fight time, like we both stated, Angelo Leo, we will be prepared. We will be ready. You're a good fighter and you're a good kid. Keep up the good work. Let's just put on a show, because I know, like you stated before, you are, how would I say, underlooked or overlooked? How would I put that? Either way, just come ready to fight.
Champ, I'm going to give you the last word here. What advice would you give Stephen Fulton for this fight? And will you be the first one to stop him?
Advice would be just, you know, be ready. Exactly that. You know, what else? I don't have much advice to give him, but just be ready, you know, and come January 23rd, give it your all. I give it my all, and just give the fans what they want to see.
You think you'll be the first person to stop him?
Could be, yeah, you could be. You know, we're gunning for it, but if it doesn't, we're going for the W for sure.
Got it. I know a number of media people here are watching. They want to ask questions. Just hit the raise your hand icon there. And Chris de Blasio, our Vice President of Communications, will acknowledge you. So Chris, I'm going to give you the floor so you can let the first media member ask their question.
Thank you, Brian. So as usual with these press Zooms, when you are cued and I introduce you, you're going to have to unmute your computer microphone in order to ask your question. So ask for your patience while we get our first couple of press members on the line. David Melandra Jr., you're with the Philly Voice. You can unmute and ask your first question. Go ahead. Having a bit of a problem unmuting David. We're going to go to our next question. We'll try to get David back in there. Let's go to Keith Eidick with BoxingScene.com. Keith?
Hey, Stephen, how you doing? Hey, Chris, my thing's working now.
Okay, there you are, David. Let's go ahead, David.
Hey, Stephen, just want to get your initial thoughts. Like, when you first found out that you tested positive for this fight, how deflating was it? And then now does it feel to get back in the ring and say, that's it, I'm putting Philadelphia in my back and I'm ready to take it on?
How you doing? First off, how you doing? It was depressing. I felt bad. My body felt bad. And I just was really depressed, but through the support from everyone that I was getting, it was like, it kind of like lifted me up a little bit, but I still had to deal with it. I still had to watch the fight, knowing that was supposed to be me fighting. And things like that just made me a better man, better person, just changed my mindset.
And from here, what does it mean to represent the city of Philadelphia in a big-time title fight like this?
Oh, it means everything. You know, I'm one of the guys now, and I'm one of the new era leaders for Philadelphia boxing. So I just got to put on the show, perform, be myself, relax, stay calm, be smart first and foremost, and just do my job, do what we came here to do.
All right, thank you. Good luck next week.
Appreciate that.
Okay, David, thanks. Keith?
Yeah, Stephen, you touched on it a little earlier, but what was it like for you that week? You go up to Mohegan Sun expecting to fight for a world title, then you find out you test positive. Just the range of emotions and everything that you went through, and also how long did it take you to recover from the virus itself? It
took me about even 13, 14 days, honestly. Now, I'm just gonna break it down. When I got out there, my body started feeling a little weird. Like I was a little shaky at times, and I woke up in cold sweats here and there. But I just didn't know what it was. Like I didn't expect that because I just had a negative test before I left. So things was a little messed up. As far as breathing, everything was good. I would run, take off on the treadmill when I stopped, about 5 minutes in the stop, and then my body will go back to feeling a little funny. But I didn't know what it was. I just didn't know what it was. So that was kind of confusing to me, that my body wasn't cooperating with me leading up to this fight. But in my mindset and where I'm from, I'm still like, F it. We gonna get in there, we gonna rumble. So that's how I still was thinking. But my body, everything was like messed up. So it kind of messed my mindset up. I'm like, yo, what is going on with my body? I gotta focus on for this fight. I gotta lose weight, and I'm not worrying about my body. So those are some of the things that I was just thinking and going through.
When was that when you started feeling that way?
I started feeling that way like a day before I actually went in a hotel, but it was like on and off. So I would still have my confidence, like, oh, all right, no, I'm okay, I'm good. Then soon I would get there, lay down, go to sleep, and I wake up, I just feel terrible. And then it just restarts. It was like an up and down thing for me.
So that was early in fight week, in other words.
Not so much early. It was like the fight week.
The fight week. Okay. And then you tested positive on which day? Was it Tuesday or Wednesday?
I believe Wednesday.
Wednesday. And then you said it took about 2 weeks or so before you started feeling back to normal?
Yep. And they kicked us out the hotel.
How long was it before
Listen, when they kicked us out the hotel, I felt like SHIT. I'm like, damn, look how they treated me. but I knew it wasn't nothing personal. Nobody wants to get sick, and I understand. And by having it, I understand why so many people have lost their lives and that type of thing. So I like to say, much love to everybody on that had it, and a healthy recovery for everyone.
And how long was it before you could go back to training, Stephen?
I actually took I caught it in August, September. I think I went back in like October. I gave myself some time because I knew that working out and running while you have it can permanently mess your lungs up. It'll mess your breathing up. So I took some time off of it. I needed, sorry to cut you up, and I needed that time to mentally get myself back together.
No problem. And when did you start to feel like, when you went back to training, when did you maybe start to feel like yourself, your old self?
Well, late November, early December, I started feeling back normal. You know, that it takes time to really get your breathing back.
Thanks for your time, Stephen.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Stephen, I'm sure the promotion had everyone's safety in mind, and hopefully got you back to Philadelphia to rest and recover. It was not personal, not meant to be harmful. It was meant to be everyone's best interest, including yours. So, Keith, thank you. Let's go to Jeremy Herridges. Jeremy, fansided.com. You can unmute and go ahead.
Hi, Angelo. Hi, Stephen. First question is to Angelo. Angelo, you know, this is your first time defending your title, first time fighting as champion. That word champion, does that give you added confidence and something extra to fight for?
Oh, definitely. Being champion is something I always wanted to be. So now that I got it, you know, I got the confidence, but I don't take my foot off the gas, you know, just because I'm champion. You know, they say that once you're champion, it's harder, you know, it's harder because now, as bad as you want it, now everybody else wants it just as bad as you do. But my mentality is the same, you know, world champion, and I'm gunning for more world champions. So I'm not the hunted, I'm still hunting, you know, and but it definitely gives me added confidence. They also say when you become champion, it's 20% harder to win, to beat the champion. So that's just something to think about. But yeah, it does give me confidence.
Stephen, you watched Leo's performance against Williams. What did you take away from that in terms of your opinion of Leo? What did you think about his performance, and did he impress you in that fight?
I think his performance was what I expected. I expected him to come forward and try to be a dog. I expected that. Now Tremaine didn't expect that, I don't think, and I like that's why the fight went a lot like it went. But he's a good fighter. You know, he's a champion for a reason. He earned his way here, and now we just had to fight.
I think looking on paper, you know, both of you have similar statistics as far as size, record, things of that nature. The one thing that seems to be an outlier, at least to me, Stephen, is on your record, you've beaten a total of 7 fighters that have been undefeated. Do you think that your resume gives you a strength in this fight?
For sure. I believe my resume is one of the reasons why the odds are the way they are. You know, resumes and those such things make certain fights. It makes the fighter. And if I'm beating 7 undefeated fighters and the guys that I'm going up against are not, the odds are going to look the way they look, because it's a bigger chance that I'm going to win the fight because I have those type of caliber fighters on my resume.
Final question for Angelo. Angelo, Stephen's saying that he's seen you fight. He knows what to expect. What do you think that you're going to show him that he hasn't seen before?
It's different. You know, when you get in the ring, there's a lot more factors that play out. Not just pressure and not just body work, but there's a lot of things that I got up my sleeve that a lot of people haven't seen yet. And come January 23rd, I want to be able to showcase all my skills.
Thank you both, and best of luck to you both next weekend.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Jeremy. We have time for a few more questions here. Let's go to Carlos Toro. Carlos Toro Media started his own site. Go ahead, Carlos.
Thank you, Angelo and Stephen, for taking time to talk to us. First question to Angelo. Did you feel like at fight week, after the fight got changed from Stephen Fulton to Tremaine Williams, did you feel like you have to make some sort of mental adjustment or anything to the game plan to sort of make up for the fact that you're going to facing a completely different opponent with just days in advance?
Definitely. I believe that. What was the question again?
Did you feel like you had to make an adjustment to your game plan or to how you've had to sort of handle things for Tremaine as compared to when you were preparing for Stephen Fulton back in August?
Yeah, definitely had to make some adjustments. I was a little disappointed because, all up leading up to the fight, we prepared for a writing, and then 3 days before the fight, we got a monkey wrench and Tremaine Williams, and he's a southpaw. So, we had to make a few adjustments, but like a true champion, you can adjust, you can always adapt. And I adjusted. I did what I had to do. When I'm in shape like that, there was nothing that was going to stop me. And that night, I was going to become world champion.
Stephen kind of alluded to this earlier in the call that not just him, but you also have something to fight for and something to prove. Do you kind of feel, do you share his sentiments that you also, even though you're the champion, you sort of have something to prove to the world on January 23rd?
Of course. I have a lot to prove. This is just the beginning for me. So I have a lot of doubters that are doubting me. I'm the underdog. So it's just all fuel to the flame.
Stephen, was it frustrating, not just watching Angelo fight for the title back in August, but was there a part of you that kind of thought that you not only lost a chance, but you sort of lost a chance maybe indefinitely because the nature of the sport always changes? Did you feel like you may have lost that potential title fight back then?
Yep, that's why I was crying.
Well, you seem, I'm glad that you're in much better spirits and you got the fight. Do you sort of view that now looking back as a sort of blessing in disguise as, getting now that you've gotten over the hump mentally, but also have more time to prepare for Angelo?
Oh yeah, it is a blessing. And honestly, it's a blessing that we have a great team like we have of those I stated to give thanks to be able to make this possible once again.
Thanks, Angelo and Stephen. Best of luck to the both of you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Carlos. Let's go to Sochi Hayashi with Yahoo Sports out of Japan. Sochi, can you hear us? Stand by while we try to get Sochi to unmute.
Can you hear me?
We hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Yes, just one question to Angelo. Do you have any particular emotion about Johnny Tapia, your hometown champion?
Yeah, I do. Johnny was he's the pride and joy of Albuquerque, and he's one of the greatest fighters from that city. And to be mentioned with his name is an honor. Johnny Tapia was a real good people, very charismatic, and he showed everybody love.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sochi. Let's try Michael Rueda with Sunday Puncher. Michael?
Hey, sorry, it's 26 Sports, not sorry about that.
Excuse me. No, my fault, Michael. Go ahead.
No problem. All right, so I got two questions. One's going to be for Stephen first. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Leonard, Stephen, Tom, Brian. But for Stephen, my question for you is, in the original moment, you had the title opportunity. You come down with COVID. Now you get another opportunity here. Has it hit you yet that it's a world title shot, or has it kind of calmed down now that it's pretty much the second time that you're getting this fight?
I wouldn't say that it all the way calmed down. It just made me more calmer dealing with training and everything. It just made it like, all right, this is normal. I've been preparing for this the first time. Let's just get this done. Let's just get the job done now. And that's what happened.
So any anxiety or anything like that, nervousness has pretty much left your system for it?
Yes.
Definitely. Perfect. All right. And I'm glad to see you doing better and in good spirits as well, man.
Thanks.
All right. And for Angelo, now, You won the title. Of course, you know, the original fight was with Stephen Fulton, but you performed really well against Tremaine Williams. Now that you have this fight again, pretty much the same question. Do you have any anxiety or nervousness, or now that you have the belt, has that pretty much left your system as well?
Yeah, no anxiety at all, you know, not at all. I've been working to fight Fulton for, I would say, since May or June. So, you know, everything, all the game plan we worked on, you know, is all coming more natural. So, you know, come fight night, it'll be a good fight.
Perfect. And actually, Sochi stole my question about Johnny Tapia for you. So, you know, it kind of took my second question. But either way, man, thank you guys for having me on here. Great call so far, and hope the best for both of you. And again, Stephen, man, I'm happy that you're recovered and ready for this fight. And Angelo, looking forward to it as well.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. Beg your pardon on that affiliation. Let's go to John Cudney with Sunday Puncher, also representing Reddit Boxing. John, can you unmute and go?
I'm unmuted. I think I'm good here.
There you are. Yep. Thank you.
Great. So this is a question for both of you. I'll direct to Angelo first, the champ. You guys are both young and undefeated. A lot of young fighters are reluctant to take risks. Just want to hear what it means to you to take this risk at this point in your career, especially since you already won the title. If you had any reluctance to go into the Stephen Fulton fight, or if you had any option to take a different fight after winning the title.
No, actually, this fight had, I think I'd signed the contract already after, before, like 2 days before I fought Tremaine Williams, that I was going to fight Fulton after. So, you know, I've always knew that he was the next opponent for me. And, you know, this fight is great for boxing. You got two undefeated fighters, both in their prime. You know, what more do you want from two fighters in this boxing and in this era, you know?
Great, thanks. Same question, Stephen, about being a young fighter. I know you've already faced a bunch of young undefeated fighters, but still interested hearing what you have to say about that. What what it means at this point in your career to take this kind of risk, and where you hope to stand coming out of this fight.
I mean, no risk, no reward, and I don't think this is a risk. This is an opportunity. He's the world champ. Gotta respect that. This is not a risk at that point. The risk I was taking was fighting those other undefeated fighters, or the risk I was taking was how I got here. But there's no risk once you're fighting a champion. This is what it is now. So, but I feel great, and I'm respect to everybody and ready to fight.
Okay, one more question here. So again, to Angelo first. So the sport of boxing has a great, exciting wave of young fighters coming in, guys like Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia. You know, I could list many more. Are you hoping after this fight to be, if you aren't already, among that group of guys? I mean, can you talk about your ambition, what kind of statement you're trying to make with this performance?
With this performance, I plan to just, you know, let everybody know that I'm here to stay, you know, that I think a lot of people are doubting me just because I fought Tremaine Williams and you know, they say it was a 3D notice, but, you know, he was getting ready for a fight as well. So I got a lot of doubters. I want to prove them wrong. And in this fight, I think I'll have the opportunity to.
Very good, thanks. Stephen, same question with, the wave of hot young fighters in the sport. What are people going to be saying about you coming out of this fight?
Honestly, I am in that wave. You know, they just ready for me to stamp it by getting this belt. You know, they have that superstar quality. It's just in me. So after this fight, it's just going to already solidify what we already knew.
Okay, thanks a lot, both of you. I love the confidence on both sides. Good luck to you both.
Thanks.
Okay, John, thanks a lot. Let's just have a last question. Time for one more here. Let's go to Marcos Villegas, Fight Hub. Marcos?
Thanks, Chris. This question is both to Stephen and Angelo. But Stephen, I got to ask before I ask the question, that statue there, what is that?
That's Einstein.
Okay, I thought it was Einstein. Yeah. Einstein's a fascinating guy, so props to you on that. I love Einstein. So Stephen and Angelo, and I can start with you, Stephen. When you look at your division, to you guys,
what is the marquee fight you feel to make in your division? And I'll start with you, Stephen.
This one right now, once we get past this is the marquee fight for me. I have to get this first. I have to. Moving forward, we need unification bouts. It don't matter whichever belt holder. So it don't really matter.
Angelo?
But if I had to pick one, sorry about that. If I had to pick one, I will go for the one who got all the belts, MJ. But if not, Louis Neri.
And Neri would be an awesome fight for either or. But Angelo, what do you make of that? What do you see as like the marquee fight? If you get past this, what's the one fight do you feel in the division that really is the marquee fight?
Like Fulton said, this is the marquee fight right here. Two undefeated fighters, two contrasting styles. So this is the fight right here to see. But unification bouts with MJ or Luis Neri.
Excellent. Certainly, I hope those are possible. Whoever wins the fight, that'd be great to see that. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that, and wish you a healthy rest of your guys' camps.
All right, thank
Appreciate that.
Okay, thank you, Marcos. That's it for press questions. Let's go back to you, Brian Custer.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. I want to thank all the media members for joining us, and just want to give you a reminder. Look, it's the main event. Showtime Championship Boxing coming your way January 23rd from the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. It will be the first fight of the year for Showtime Championship Boxing, and you can't get a better main event than the WBO junior featherweight title. Angelo Leo, the champion, making his first title defense against the unbeaten Stephen Fulton Jr. Cool boy Steph. It is presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by Mayweather Promotions, TGB Promotions as well. A 3-fight card. And of course, Leo, Fulton Jr., they're the main event. The co-main, Rais Alim, Vic Pasillas. And then we open the night with Raleigh Romero taking on Justin Paldo. So, folks, we will see you January 23rd. It's Leo, the champ, against Fulton. We'll see you then. Have a great afternoon.